I never imagined I'd be writing a story like this, but here I am, sitting in my kitchen, trembling and trying to make sense of the chaos my family has created. I'm 31, happily married to my husband, Ryan, 33, for 6 years. Our relationship has been steady, loving, and full of quiet joy, the kind of marriage friends describe as solid and unshakable. But all of that nearly came crashing down last weekend during my 30th birthday party. It started with my older sister, Lauren, 35. Growing up, Lauren was the type of person everyone adored, charming, commanding, effortlessly popular. She thrived on attention and could turn any conversation into a performance. Meanwhile, I was quieter, academically inclined, and perfectly content in the background. Our parents always said they loved us equally, but I could feel the difference in the way they doted on her. Lauren never needed to ask twice. Whatever she wanted, praise, gifts, or recognition, she received without hesitation. As we grew older, our lives diverged sharply. I built a career as an interior designer and bought a modest home with Ryan. Lauren jumped from one ambitious but fleeting project to another, always looking for a shortcut to success. She married Michael, a wealthy businessman, 3 years ago, and at first I thought maybe marriage would ground her, make her responsible. I was wrong. Instead, she became even more entitled, relying heavily on Michael's family for money, advice, and approval, while making zero effort to contribute meaningfully. I had noticed Lauren growing increasingly distant and tense around me over the past year. Small comments about my perfect life felt more like thinly veiled digs than jokes. She seemed obsessed with monitoring Ryan's interactions with the family, asking pointed questions that never had clear answers. At first, I brushed it off as her being competitive, but a gnawing sense of unease kept me on edge. A week before my birthday party, I got a call from Michael that changed everything. His tone was urgent, almost fearful. He explained that Lauren had been plotting something dangerous. Apparently, she had been spreading rumors about Ryan, claiming he had been unfaithful with someone in her circle and intended to reveal it at my birthday in a way that would humiliate me and fracture my marriage. I felt my stomach drop. The party was supposed to be a celebration of my life and our love. Instead, it was about to become a stage for my sister to try to ruin me. I couldn't let that happen. Not with Ryan, not with all we've built together. I needed a plan, and I needed allies. Michael promised to stay quiet until the right moment, but his warning was enough to make me realize how far Lauren might go. I looked at Ryan that night, trying to mask my fear. He immediately noticed my tension. When I told him what Michael had said, his jaw tightened. "We'll get through this," he said firmly. "We just have to be smart. Let's make sure she can't hurt us in front of everyone." I nodded, though inside I was terrified. I had no idea what Lauren was capable of, but I knew one thing. I wasn't going to let her destroy my life. The week leading up to my birthday was the longest of my life. Lauren didn't make any overt moves, but her presence in every family group chat, every subtle comment at dinners, and her strange insistence on helping with party preparations made my nerves fray. Every time I tried to relax, a little voice in my head whispered, "She's planning something." Ryan and I spent late nights reviewing the guest list, making notes about who might be loyal to me and who might side with Lauren. He was calm, but I could see the tension in his jaw, the way his hands clenched when he thought I wasn't looking. It helped that Michael, Lauren's husband, was quietly on my side. He texted updates almost daily, letting me know about Lauren's moods, her obsession with watching us fail, and even small schemes she had tried to plant at her own work events. According to him, she had been rehearsing lies and setting up stories for weeks. One afternoon, I received a text that chilled me to the bone. It was from Lauren, and it said nothing but, "Can't wait for everyone to know the truth on Saturday." No context, no explanation, just the implication that she was ready to explode her plan. I showed Ryan. He immediately put his arm around me. "We're going to expose her before she gets the chance," he said. "We just have to be patient and smart." I started compiling evidence of Lauren's manipulations over the past year. Emails she had sent to friends sowing doubt about Ryan, screenshots of messages where she disparaged me, even little lies she had told Michael's family to make herself look innocent. The more I collected, the more I realized just how meticulously she had plotted. This wasn't a moment of impulse. It was calculated, cold, and designed to hit me when I would be most vulnerable. By Thursday, my anxiety had reached a fever pitch. I walked through our house, rehearsing what I would say if Lauren tried to speak at the party. I imagined the scenario over and over, her standing in front of our friends, smiling that perfect, infuriating smile, making her claim. I would feel powerless if I didn't plan. So I devised a strategy. Michael and I would quietly gather proof, position trusted allies in the room, and let the truth come out without me having to make a scene. Ryan was my anchor. He kept reminding me to breathe, to stay calm, to focus on what we could control. Whatever she throws at us, he said, we respond with facts, not anger. Facts. You'll see, it'll fall apart on its own. I nodded, trying to take comfort in his certainty, but the thought of facing my sister in front of everyone filled me with dread. Saturday morning arrived. The house was filled with flowers, laughter, and decorations. Guests were beginning to trickle in, and I forced myself to smile and play the gracious hostess. But under the surface, my heart was racing. I knew Lauren would make her move, and I knew that the next few hours could change everything. By the time the guests had all arrived, my nerves were taut as piano wire. The laughter, clinking glasses, and small talk felt surreal, like a movie scene I was trapped inside. Every time the door opened, I flinched, expecting Lauren to appear with a smug grin and a bombshell ready to drop. Lauren arrived fashionably late, of course, in a sleek red dress and perfectly coiffed hair, carrying that air of confidence that always made me want to roll my eyes. She kissed our parents on both cheeks, smiled at our friends, and immediately began to weave herself into the center of conversation. It was harmless, almost charming, but I knew better. Every move she made was a chess piece carefully placed to destabilize me. The first sign of trouble came when she cornered a group of mutual friends and started asking pointed questions about Ryan and me. "So, how's the marriage going?" she said, tilting her head innocently. "Still perfect?" The tone was dripping with subtle venom. She laughed lightly, as though letting them know she had some inside knowledge they didn't. I caught Ryan's glance across the room. He tensed, sensing what I did. She was planting seeds, testing reactions, and preparing for the main act. Then it happened. Just as I was walking past the dessert table, Lauren stood up suddenly and cleared her throat, drawing everyone's attention. "Can I have a moment?" she asked sweetly, but the eyes she turned on me were sharp and calculating. My heart stopped. This was it, the moment she had been scheming toward for weeks. She smiled, that maddening, confident smile, and said, "I think everyone deserves to know the truth. Ryan isn't the man you think he is, and, well, he's been very involved with me." The words hit like a physical blow. A hush fell over the room. Guests froze, glasses halfway to their mouths, eyes darting between us. I felt panic rise, but I forced myself to breathe. Ryan stood beside me, hand on my back, grounding me. I had a choice: panic and let her narrative take hold, or remain calm and let our preparation work. I subtly nodded toward Michael, who had positioned himself near the back of the room with a few of Lauren's friends who were in the loop. They were ready. Lauren's grin widened as she basked in the shock she thought she had caused, but then a clear, calm voice cut through the tension. Michael stepped forward, holding a small stack of printed messages and photographs. "Actually," he said, "maybe you should hear the full story." He laid out evidence showing Lauren's interactions with another man, not Ryan, contradicting every claim she had made. The room went silent again, but this time the energy had shifted. Lauren's confident mask faltered slightly, a flicker of panic crossing her face. I felt a spark of hope. I wasn't powerless. Her plan was beginning to unravel before the eyes of everyone she had hoped to impress. The room was tense, charged with disbelief. Lauren's smug confidence had been replaced by a flicker of panic as Michael laid out the evidence. Texts, photos, and messages, all proving her claims about Ryan were lies. I could feel the eyes of our family and friends on us, everyone waiting for what would happen next. Lauren opened her mouth, probably planning another excuse, but no words came out. For the first time, she was speechless. I stepped forward, my voice steady, even though my hands were shaking. Everyone, I want you to hear the truth, I said. Lauren has been planning this for weeks. She tried to create a story to make it look like Ryan was involved with her and that he had betrayed me. None of it is true. I paused, letting my gaze sweep the room, catching the eyes of people I trusted. The man Lauren has been involved with, I continued, is someone completely different. Ryan has never been unfaithful. Every accusation she made was a lie to humiliate me and destroy our marriage. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Some guests whispered to each other, exchanging shocked looks. I could see relief on Ryan's face, but also lingering anger. Lauren's face went pale, and for the first time, the layers of her carefully crafted persona began to crumble. She tried to interrupt, to insist that I was lying, but Michael held up his hand, showing the evidence again. These are all messages she sent and received. It's all documented, he said calmly. She set this up intentionally, and the truth is clear. Lauren's composure cracked. She dropped her gaze to the floor, muttering something under her breath. A few of our family members stepped closer, disbelief written all over their faces. Even our parents, who had long favored Lauren, looked stunned and unsure what to say. It was a rare moment of clarity. No matter how much she tried to spin the story, the truth was now visible to everyone. Ryan took my hand, squeezing it tightly. "We're okay," he whispered, and I felt a surge of relief. Our marriage wasn't just intact, it had weathered an attack designed to destroy it. I could see Lauren flailing, her manipulation collapsing in real time, and for the first time in years, I felt the scales fall from my eyes about just how dangerous she could be when she wanted something. By the end of the confrontation, Lauren had retreated to a corner, muttering to herself, while guests began murmuring among themselves, processing what had just happened. I felt a mix of exhaustion, vindication, and lingering sadness. We had won, but the fallout, especially with our family, was just beginning. After the confrontation, the party turned into a strange mix of relief and tension. Guests were whispering, some consoling me, others giving Ryan supportive nods, while a few exchanged awkward glances with Lauren. She sat in silence, shoulders slumped, staring at the floor, the confident aura she always carried completely gone. It was surreal, seeing someone so meticulously manipulative reduced to someone small and cornered. Our parents were frozen at first. Mom's face was pale, and Dad's jaw was tight. I could tell they were struggling to reconcile the sister they had long favored with the person we had all just witnessed. After a moment, Mom whispered, I didn't know she could do this. And I realized that even they hadn't seen the full depth of Lauren's plotting. I wanted to explain, to tell them everything, but I knew it would take time for them to process. Lauren didn't leave immediately. Instead, she started trying to argue, stammering out excuses, and blaming Michael, claiming she had made her do it. It was pathetic, and for the first time, our friends didn't take her side. People who had once admired her seemed uncomfortable, unsure whether they should step in or just watch the unraveling. I noticed a few of Michael's family members quietly recording, presumably as proof in case things escalated further. Ryan and I stayed together, quietly guiding our guests back into conversation, trying to salvage what we could of the evening. It felt strange to enjoy our own birthday party while chaos brewed a few feet away. Every once in a while, I caught Lauren glaring at me, her eyes burning with a mixture of shame, anger, and frustration. But the power she thought she held over the room was gone, dissipated by facts, courage, and strategic planning. By the time the party wound down, Lauren had retreated to her car and left without another word. Guests lingered, offering hugs and support, whispering about the audacity of what had just happened. Michael came up to me quietly, giving me a small, apologetic smile. "I'm sorry you had to deal with this," he said. "I didn't realize how far she'd go." I nodded, grateful for his honesty. That night, Ryan and I sat together in our living room, exhausted. "I don't think I've ever been more proud of us," Ryan said softly. "We stayed calm, we stuck together, we didn't let her win." I leaned my head on his shoulder, trying to relax, but my mind raced. Lauren wasn't gone. She wouldn't disappear quietly. There would be phone calls, messages, maybe even attempts to twist the story on social media. I knew the next few days would be just as intense as the confrontation itself. Still, despite the chaos, a strange peace settled over me. Our marriage had been tested and survived. Lauren's manipulations had failed publicly, and the support of our friends and some family members reminded me that truth and loyalty mattered more than appearances. Yet, deep down, I knew this was only the beginning of the aftermath. The days following the party were surreal. Lauren went radio silent, no calls, no texts, but the ripples of her actions were everywhere. Our family group chats were flooded with confused messages, some from relatives demanding explanations, others from friends checking if Ryan and I were okay. Even our neighbors had caught wind of the drama, likely from Lauren herself before she disappeared. My parents were struggling to process everything. Mom oscillated between guilt and frustration, apologizing repeatedly for not seeing Lauren's manipulations sooner, while Dad kept a tight-lipped silence, clearly grappling with disappointment and disbelief. We all realized that the family dynamic had shifted permanently. The years of favoritism, the subtle undermining, the quiet toleration of Lauren's behavior, they were all under scrutiny now, and no one could pretend it hadn't happened. Meanwhile, Lauren's social life and reputation began to crumble. Friends she had leaned on for years started questioning her honesty, and even Michael, who had tried to shield her initially, began distancing himself. I heard from a few of her acquaintances that she had been blocked on multiple social media accounts, and rumors about her behavior were circulating. Some were sympathetic, but most were incredulous that someone could go so far to manipulate an event and destroy a relationship publicly. Legally, Michael's family considered taking steps. While nothing immediately was filed, they were consulting attorneys about financial matters and potential boundaries to prevent Lauren from creating more chaos. For our part, Ryan and I had started documenting every interaction with Lauren, texts, voicemails, even small encounters, to be prepared if her next move was to threaten or harass us. Our lawyer reassured us that with the evidence from the party and the corroboration of Michael's family, we were in a strong position should any legal action arise. Emotionally, the fallout was exhausting. I found myself replaying the confrontation repeatedly in my mind, analyzing every glance, every word, and wondering if there had been a better way to manage it. But Ryan kept reminding me that the truth had been exposed, that we had remained calm, and that our marriage had survived intact. Those reminders were vital. For the first time in years, I felt the dangerous tension that Lauren had created lift slightly. I knew the road ahead would still have bumps, that interactions with her or discussions about her could reignite stress, but at least we were no longer in the dark. Our friends and some family members rallied around us, offering support and kindness in a way that felt almost healing after years of subtle manipulation and family strain. Weeks passed, and the intensity of the immediate fallout slowly began to fade, though the echoes of Lauren's actions lingered. Our lives didn't return to normal overnight, but the storm had passed, leaving room for reflection, rebuilding, and a cautious optimism. Ryan and I spent evenings talking through every detail, reinforcing our trust in one another and planning for a future untainted by manipulation. It was like reclaiming our lives piece by piece. Our family, however, was permanently altered. Mom and Dad began therapy, both individually and together, trying to untangle the years of favoritism, denial, and enabling. Conversations that once seemed impossible, honest discussions about Lauren's behavior, our childhood dynamics, and how to support one another moving forward slowly became possible. I realized that while some relationships might never fully recover, boundaries could be rebuilt and understanding could grow. Lauren herself had retreated entirely. Michael confirmed she had sought counseling after some confrontation from his parents, though whether it was genuine or another form of control remained unclear. Her social circle had shrunk, her reputation damaged beyond repair, and she no longer wielded the subtle influence she had long enjoyed. I felt a strange mix of pity and relief. She had orchestrated chaos for so long, and now, finally, the consequences were unavoidable. For Ryan and me, the experience had been brutal but transformative. Our marriage emerged stronger, rooted not just in love, but in resilience, honesty, and mutual support. We realized that while external attacks could challenge us, the foundation we had built was unshakable. Planning for our future, starting a family, buying a home, dreaming together, felt safer and more intentional than ever before. Friends and extended family who had witnessed the drama offered quiet support and encouragement, which reminded me how important community is in navigating betrayal and manipulation. Emma, my cousin, became a frequent confidant, and we rebuilt the closeness we had lost to Lauren's interference. It was proof that even amidst chaos, connections worth preserving could be nurtured. Ultimately, I learned that protecting oneself sometimes requires strategy, courage, and confronting uncomfortable truths publicly. Lauren's attempts to destroy our marriage failed, not because of luck, but because Ryan and I chose clarity over panic, evidence over emotion, and each other over fear. While scars remain, emotional, familial, and social, they are reminders of survival, of boundaries enforced, and trust restored. Life has resumed, quieter and calmer now, yet the lessons remain etched in my memory. Vigilance, honesty, and unwavering commitment to those we love can overcome even the most calculated acts of betrayal. And in that, I finally feel free. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.